Welcome, Spirit Bus 33 fam. Here we are in the now. I'm so excited to take this little trip with you.
Your spiritual beings having a human experience.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for having this earth experience, same time as me. As Spirit Bus 33 heads down Route 53, I'd like to take a moment and I would like to thank you, everyone that's listening right now. If you are subscribing to my content, thank you. This endeavor, it's just a complete honor. If you're new here and you feel aligned, like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. Any interaction is, there's just a lot of gratitude. So I've mentioned in past episodes and on TikTok lives that I'm always up for a topic request. And I am beyond elated that a vibey soul took me up on that offer and presented a topic for this week's episode. So as a reminder, if you would also like to request one, my Linktree is in the bio show notes, if that's what it's called. And my email is on my links. And feel free to email me, and I will do my best to create an episode with preferred topics. So here we go. We're driving down Route 53, diving into acceptance without closure. So, I think many of us, we've had this happen. A falling out without having the opportunity to, say goodbye, have the opportunity to talk it out, have some type of mutual understanding. Many times when this happens, it tugs at us for a period of time. And then we work through it and, through the emotions, and we release it. Perhaps when certain people, places, things, remind us of that person, there might be another snag, but it's gentle and we're able to release again with an easy return to homeostasis. But there are some connections that when they become severed, the wound just doesn't seem to heal. It's as if the person took a part of us with them. And while we're still trying to carry on, the hurt is just there lingering, and it's really thought about often. Exit to the right, Imprint Boulevard. When we think of imprinting, we might immediately think of animals. Maybe even the movie Twilight and associate the act being more of maybe a wolf thing. The truth is, though, is that humans do imprint on one another. Like this perfect mixture of interactions, strong emotions, and there becomes this bond. And let's not forget that our childhood attachments, they play a huge role in this. So attachment theories, these are common side quests that someone can look into, because there's many great psychologists, philosophers, etc., that have research on early childhood development and attachment, and then how that impacts your relationships as an adult. So Kendra Cherry An article dated January 29th, 2025 from Very Well Mind shares our understanding of attachment theory is heavily influenced by the early work of researchers such as John Bowlby and Mary Ainsworth. Today, researchers recognize that the early relationships children have with their caregivers play a crucial role in healthy development. Such bonds can also have an influence on romantic relationships in adulthood. Understanding your attachment style may help you look for ways to become more secure in your relationship. So that brings us to understanding our own attachment style. But before I enter this cul-de-sac, a gentle warning about labels of any kind. There are many, and I mean many, ways to describe ourselves during this earth experience. Sometimes the descriptions are helpful to understand ourselves, work through our shit, move forward. Other times, the descriptions, well, they can just put us in a box that we get stuck in, and we're unable to see ourselves as anything other than my this label, my anxiety, my attachment style. So remember, we are ever changing. So if you're going to label yourself with anything, allow yourself to visualize a door within that box. So that door is present. So you have the ability to evolve because you will. We're unable to take any of these labels with us. They don't come with us past this earth experience. I mean, so I would think. So I believe that this is all temporary. Back to attachment styles. These are considered evidence based, meaning researched science, not woo. So, secure attachment. Intimacy is comfortable. The individual is independent. Trust is present. Communication's good. Next, anxious attachment. Concerned about being abandoned to the point that there is a fear, might engage in certain behaviors to lessen the fear, craves intimacy, avoidant attachment, not really available emotionally, distant, pretty independent, but really difficult communicating emotions to others. Fearful attachment, vulnerability is scary, wants to be close, wants to be intimate, but has a really difficult time leaning in with excessive fear present. So, this was just like a small recap of them. There is so much abundance of information on the internet, books about this. Remember, though, is to keep that door open to evolve past any label. So, as we turn back on to Route 53, we recognize that we have the ability to connect with others in very deep ways. And who that person ends up being is impacted by our early childhood development. So, as we truck along, we see that there are many exits that have possibilities as to why it's hard to move past a broken connection with a person and not another person. Many of these exits and explanations are evidence based through research, and some are more holistic minded side. This choose your own adventure Earth School can provide explanations through perhaps astrology, human design, numerology, and many more ways to explain and understand our connection with other people. A good question, though, to ask is why do I need closure? Why do I need the person to tell me it's okay to let go? Why do we need our pain validated by a person that hurt us? Of course, we can make a strong explanation of how amazing it would be to have that space, But do you need that to move on? Do you need the person that caused the pain to tell you that the pain was real or to validate your pain? Perhaps this is more of a want and not a need. A person that harmed you cannot heal you. You are the one that heals you. You are the only one. So now we take the next exit, let go street, and start to contemplate if we need to choose this option. Perhaps we know that the relationship with the person is not in our best interest. They have shown us with their actions. And just because we can see their potential does not mean that that interaction will ever surface for at least our connection with them. We may have just been a small season of time with them, or perhaps a longer chapter that was necessary to be able to enter the next, but not together. Perhaps the letting go is realizing that you're giving that person's perceived potential your energy and your power. They might not even be able to handle the level of vulnerability and honesty for the closure to even take place. You two may also see the relationship completely different. Therefore, it'd be like trying to get closure from someone when they're speaking in a completely different language that you don't understand. So here we are. How do you let go? I wish I could give you this magic spell or a task to complete that would completely release all of this with zero distress left. What I can suggest, well, it's to keep focusing on you. The reality is, truly, you already have closure. Their lack of vulnerability is your closure. Their lack of honesty, closure. The way they treated you, closure. Not having an explanation, closure. Disrespect, closure. Lack of apologies, care, accountability, silence, closure. Closure really, though, it's not something that someone gives you. It truly is you stepping into so much love for yourself that you realize that their actions or lack of actions are really words that tell you exactly what you need to know. So, does this mean that knowing all of this is automatically going to make it better? No. You love deep, you feel deep. Now it's the time to put all of that energy towards yourself and the people that do show up. Perhaps a mantra when the person surfaces in your mind without permission, such as, "Your actions do not match the energy I deserve, I release you." Or, "I appreciate the chapter, it has ended now, I release you." Obviously, use your intuition for any mantra, is to take bits and pieces of that one, make it into your own, but trust your intuition before you start repeating things to yourself. Remember, though, that intentional words, thoughts, they rewire our neural pathways. This is done through repetition. I think spoken out loud is even stronger. But as we do that over and over and over again, we strengthen the neural pathways that we want to have present in our life. But the more that we the more that we think and roll around in the mud of missing them, and can I get closure, and that we strengthen that experience. What we think about expands. What we roll around in gets bigger. As we head back onto Route 53, a possible reality here. Perhaps we chose to come to Earth, to live in a very dense environment where every single emotion is available. Perhaps we feel very connected to certain people because they are connected to us outside of this experience. Maybe they agreed to come here and play the villain in your story to help maybe you complete a mission, DNA upgrade, timeline jumping, lesson plan, evolution, and so on. How about let them? A 3-card reading from the Osho deck. First card, transformation. You have everything already within you to transform to the next version of yourself. Of course, we're going to continue to learn things along the way. We're going to continue to gain new insights, to understand things at a different level. We keep meeting new versions of ourselves over and over again. But for right now, for what you need to overcome, you have everything that you need to transform. Second card, healing. So, with everything that you know, remember, go back to what works. Go back to the coping skills, go back to the practices, go back to what works, that lifts you up, that brings in some joy, that brings in this healing energy for this card, is to lean into yourself. Lean into those so fiercely that you're focusing more on you and the people that lift you up than anyone that has brought you down. Last card, harmony. This card represents that all harmony comes from within. We will be chasing joy and harmony and so many of those delicious emotions. We will be chasing them if we constantly try to get them from external sources. When it happens, delicious, love it, great, a nice addition, like amazing. When somebody gives that to us, let's give it back, have these really great energy exchanges, but we're not going to rely on those external responses to feed our own joy, our own happiness, our own self-worth, because those are all temporary. So it's doing that work that we are so in love with ourselves. And I'm not talking about stepping into any ego. That's not where I'm going here. I'm saying we're just so grateful for this experience. We love ourselves so much that the harmony, the joy, the love is there, which makes it easier to overcome the distress when somebody drops off. It makes it easier to say, let them, because we know our worth, because we watch the actions of other people and we don't really hyper focus on the potential. We don't hyper focus on, well, these words might mean this, but their actions are different. No, we just pay attention to the action steps. And we pay attention to taking care of ourselves. One card from Conversations with Soul is just simple. Dance. Very simple. When this card comes up, dance, it reminds me, of the joy that you get when you're just completely being free and just allowing yourself to move your body, to dance, to have childlike, enjoyment and wonder. It is stepping out of all of the thick what ifs and those automatic thoughts, the intrusive thoughts, is learning to really step out of them. If you have to dance your way to them, if you have to move your body out of them, remember your smile. Your body doesn't know that it's not real. That your body has no idea. It starts to act according to the way that we move, the gestures that we make. So getting your groove on, getting your play on. I appreciate you. Thank you for choosing this topic. You know who you are. And I look forward to perhaps this happening again hopefully there was some helpful things in here for you. It was a great journey to go on, so I am very grateful. Until next time, a Spirit Bus fam.
Thank you for tuning in. We are spiritual beings having a human experience.